Hey, what's going on? Ryan here with Intersection Records, and I wanted to review the brand new album by legendary British rockers Deep Purple, their 24th album, their second album with new guitar player Simon McBride, and it's called Splat. It's a concept album about exploring the end of humanity. You know, Simon McBride took over in 2022 for the great Steve Morse, who was in the band for 30 years, which is incredible. I think 92 to 2002. The last album came out in 24 called Equals One. I reviewed that record. I liked that record quite a bit, but this is a better record. Splat came out on July 3rd, 2024. Again, this is the Mark 9 version of the band. We still have longtime lead singer Ian Gillan. We have the original drummer Ian Pace, who's 78 years old. We have Roger Glover, still from the Mark 2 lineup, or Mark 2 lineup. And Don Airey on keyboards, who took over for John Lord in 2002. So he's been in the band forever at this point too. This album is dominated by really three things, in my opinion. One is the great Don Airey. Two is the great Simon McBride. His articulation, his creativity on this record. He never takes a head solo on this record. There's no long epics on this album. It's a 50-minute album, and there's 13 songs. Maybe there's a couple too many songs because it's a long listen. Bob Ezrin is producing this thing, which he's done many of their last albums. He's been doing, obviously the classic work of Alice Cooper, but he is Deep Purple's producer for the last 10 or 15 years. I really like this record. Again, Ezrin, Splat by Deep Purple. Let's go to this thing track by track. One of their first singles off this record was called Arrogant. Boy, it's an absolute ripper. All elements of Purple are here, which is that Hammond organ sound, which is the heavy guitar riffing, and Ian Gillan. And that was really the third component of what makes this record good. Ian's vocals sound wonderful for an 80-year-old man. The band is tight and explosive. Airey and McBride. I can't imagine what these guys sound like live. I just can't. I have not seen this lineup. In fact, I've seen Purple a couple times, and it's all been with Airey and Morse. I did not see the John Lord days. I did not see Blackmore with the band, although I have seen Blackmore before. I think this is one of my favorite Purple songs, Arrogant Boy in Years. It's very cool, aggressive, arpeggios by McBride. Airey's organ, kind of a space trucking vibe. The next song is Diablo. Foot stills heavily on the gas here. You're trucking. Sounds like the Mark II lineup is what it sounds like. It sounds like 70s Deep Purple, which is, let's be honest, that's what we want. There's unapologetically 70s era Purple sounding here. Gillan is telling stories throughout this album. He's a storyteller. Music-wise, this album is so strong. There's so much going on in these stories that I don't know what they're about necessarily, and I don't really care. Maybe if I have a criticism is that it's a wordy album, whereas I just want to hear this great music from this great band, and maybe sparser on the lyrics. But he has a story to tell. Good keys and Hammond on this. Phenomenal song. The next song, The Rider, kind of a trippy opening. A lot of these songs open with some sort of keyboard sound intro before it launches. The Rider is maybe not my favorite song, but it's still pretty damn good. The Lunatic, though, is next. It's a driving, muscular, menacing riff, amazing middle eighth section with some instrumental sequences, again, dominated by Airey and McBride. These guys are jamming on this record, and they're almost going back after each other like a Allman Brothers concert with Dwayne Allman and Dickie Betts, or Dickie Betts and Warren Haynes trying to beat each other out on who can solo best. It's really cool. Top Shelf, the song Lunatic. Top Shelf Purple. The Only Horse in Town is next. Vintage keyboard tones again. Open up the song so you get that sense of those 70s vibes. Another winner here. Again, Mark 9 lineup, 24th record. 80-year-old Gillan. Doesn't sound 80, guys. They got it figured out. This lineup has it figured out. There's lots of energy. I would not be surprised if they're working on another album. These guys have been putting albums out consistently 4 years, 24 albums deep, and they're not going anywhere. Sacred Land is next. Again, Arian McBride. All songs are concise. There's no long epics. There's definitely room to take these songs live in exploratory lands on a live stage, but they're all like 3.5-minute songs. Which is interesting to me because they must have just had a boatload of songs and they tried to shoehorn them all on a 50-minute record. What do I like for a length of album? 40 minutes, 42 minutes. Maybe this is a little long. We talked about that. The next song, The Beating of Wings. It's a bluesier song. It's a change-up song for sure, whereas you're not quite as driving of a riff. You get this blues song, some Fender Rhodes, mid-tempo rocker, not nearly as heavy. Maybe not a favorite, but it's a change of pace, and the album needed that, I think. Next, we get Guilt Trip, and this is the last of the singles that they released, and maybe the best song on the album. Ian Gillan is just screaming at parts of this song. He swore he'd give up screaming, but he hasn't. He's 80 years old, and he's ripping. And there's a lot to say, and there's lots of guitar work, and again, killer keyboards. Amongst the best tracks here, Relentless. Unbelievable. Scribbling Gibberish is next. Again, Purple's Flying. Purple's Flying, Taking No Prisoners. Just dominating again with tones. Don Airy. Sounds fantastic. All the different tones he gets and different synthesizers and keys and Rhodes and organs. And even some clavinet, I think, on the last song. Rhythm section is tight as hell. Pace and Glover, don't underestimate that classic rhythm section. How many bands from the classic rock era do we have that are intact with a rhythm section? ZZ Top's not intact anymore. Rush is not intact anymore. Triumph, who I just saw, is not intact anymore. It's very rare. It's very rare. Jessica's Bra. And again, the Simon McBride's articulation on his playing. He's never short of ideas. From the most Eddie Van Halen type of solos to Blackmore type solos to his own stuff to Eric Johnson-esque runs. I love him. Jessica's Bra is more straight ahead. Firepower here. Inspired sounds. Third Call's next. John Lord would be very happy with the song Third Call. You never want to be the third call, do you? I'd love to see these guys live is what I wrote. Solid Purple. Ian Pace is an absolute beast on the song. He gets a little solo on that song. My New Movie is next. Again, maybe the record's a little long. You're getting fatigued. You're getting a little bit of ear fatigue. 50 minutes deep. God, it's just a band that's on fire. What are they supposed to do? And then the last song, Splat. As Ian says here, whole lot more of the same. Just hard rocking. This is a great album. This is a 4.25 out of 5 stars. This is a great album. It's one of the top albums of the year, as far as I'm concerned, especially for classic rock bands that are still putting stuff out. It's tough to be this good this late in the game, but we got Airy, Gillan, Pace, Glover, and McBride killing it in the new Deep Purple. Check out my channel. We only talk about great music every day here on Intersection Records. Peace out. See you.